I'm Lisa, and I'm going to show you how to take your wheel off, put it back on again, and so we'll start with the front. So first of all, open up the brake and do the quick release. Unthread it a little bit because it's got these little safety tabs down here. And slide the wheel out. To put it back in again, slide it in, wind it up. Now, if you do it up too tight, then you won't be able to close it properly. So just loosen it off a little bit. If you loosen off too much, it'll be kind of floppy. So just make sure you get it so that it's nice and firm. If it's too tight, again, just loosen it off until it feels just right. You can either do one side of the fork or the other side of the fork. I do recommend making sure that it's not right up against the fork for a couple of reasons. One, it's really difficult to get your finger in there to get it off. And secondly, most quick releases, in order to be adjusted properly, need to be pointing in towards the spokes. And sometimes it actually goes past the fork. So these work on a cam system, and it is important that they are closed properly. If you've got it tight but open, then eventually it could work loose on its own. So make sure that it just feels nice and firm, but pointed in. So make sure that the wheel is in straight. You can check this, making sure that it's equidistant from the two sides of the fork, and the brake pads have an equal amount of space on either side. If the brake pads are pushed off to the side a little bit, it's going to push that wheel over, possibly cause a little speed wobble. So just make sure that they're nice and straight. If you put the wheel in and the brake seam's off, first of all, check to make sure the wheel is in straight. Sometimes you do actually end up pushing the caliper over for one reason or another. So you can just move those around and straighten it up. Yeah, if you're taking your wheel and putting it back on, it's usually best, instead of having the bike upside down, to put it right side up, have a friend hold it, or just lean it up against a post, and the gravity will work on your side to make sure that it's sitting properly in the dropouts. So to take the back wheel off, what you want to do is get the chain down into the smallest cog, and that way it pulls the derailleur out of the way. It's going to be a lot easier to get the wheel off, and especially back on. So what I'll do is I'll just put the gears down, all the way down, stop the bike, open up the brake, undo the skewer, and I'm just holding the bike up using my legs, and then just pulling down. To put it back on, what you want to do is put the cassette in between this loop, okay? And then the top of the chain is going to sit exactly where you left it. As the frame drops down while you're holding the wheel, pull this or push this part of the derailleur down and let it fall right into the dropouts. Do your quick release skewer up. Make sure the wheel is centered. And it's really important for the back wheel to make sure it's centered not only between the seat stays here, but equally in between the chain stays. Engage the brake, check it, make sure there's no rubbing, and away you go.